On record at 4:29 p.m.
Okay. We're back on the record. Is the estate ready?
I am, Judge.
Okay. Mr. Rossi, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, I am. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we've turned the air on. It's really hot in here with all of these people and... Thank you. It said it was at 74, so it feels a lot hotter than that up here, and I'm looking out at the audience and lots of fanning going on.
All rise.
Jury in at 4:31 p.m.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Mr. McClelland, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state of Indiana would call Officer James Early, please.
Witness sworn.
Thank you, Judge. Officer, before we get started, I'm gonna ask you to speak up. Use your best outside voice so that I can hear you, so the jury can hear you, and the people at the defense table. That microphone, it doesn't amplify for anybody but the audience, so we really struggle at times to hear people. Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
You don't need to lean into the microphone. Just talk normal, all right?
Yes, sir.
Will you state your name, please?
James Early.
And will you spell your last name for me, please?
RLY.
And how are you employed?
With the state of Indiana, Department of Corrections at Westville Correctional Facility.
And how long have you been employed as a correctional officer?
Since November of 2016.
And when you came on as an employee of the Indiana Department of Corrections, did you go through special training or schooling to be a correctional officer?
Yes, sir, training.
Can you tell me about that?
Went through several weeks of everything from personal protection to manipulation to restraints, mental health, some medical training.
And what shift do you work at the Department of Correction?
I Group, which is a day shift from 5:45 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And what unit within the facility do you work with?
Custody.
And are you familiar with an individual by the name of Richard Allen?
Yes.
How are you familiar with him?
He was held in an area where I worked at Westville.
And when did you first come in contact with Mr. Allen, if you know?
Late October. Late 2022.
And at some point when Mr. Allen was housed at the Westville Correctional Facility, were you asked to be a suicide companion for him?
Yes.
And how often did you do that?
I was rotating throughout regular shifts, but for several months at least a part of every shift.
And so would you see him on a consistent basis?
Yes.
And would you work as a suicide companion on a consistent basis?
Yes.
And as you're participating and acting as a suicide companion, would you fill out paperwork coinciding with that task?
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
It was a suicide companion sheet and watch sheet that it was on a 15-minute schedule and anything that happened in between, but at least every 15 minutes documentation needed to be made, but anything that happened at any time would be documented, but every 15 minutes there would need to be an entry into the log.
And while you were doing those logs, did you make those entries in real time?
Yes.
I'm gonna show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 296. Are you familiar with this packet of documents?
Yes, sir.
And what are those?
It is the entry from from April 8th, 2023 and April 9th and May 1st of 23.
And do you know these sheets to be Suicide Companion Watch reports?
Yes.
And who is the author of these reports that you're holding?
I am.
How do you know that?
My name is in the top and my initials at the end of each entry.
And would these entries reflect what you observed and what you heard from Mr. Allen during these time periods as a suicide companion?
Yes, sir.
Judge, the state would move to admit what's been marked as State's Exhibit 296, please. State's Exhibit 296 offered.
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 296 is admitted.
And Judge, I'd ask the court permission to go through the same procedure to publish these to the jury so they can follow along with my next line of questioning.
You may.
Thank you, Judge.
We're missing one.
I'm sorry.
Juror 12 needs one.
I had an extra one, so it makes sense. Does everybody have one now?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Officer Early, I want to draw your attention to the first sheet, April 8th of 2023, and I'm gonna draw your attention to 4:33 p.m. Can you tell the jury what statement Richard Allen made on that date and time?
Yes. At 4:33 p.m., he said, "I am ready to confess," while he was pacing back and forth. Then he said, "I swear to God, I killed Abby and Libby fuck me running."
Now I want to draw your attention to the last sheet in that packet, May 1st of 2023. I'm gonna draw your attention to 8:50 a.m. What statement did he make?
Say the time one more time, please.
Sure. May 1st of 2023, at 8:50 a.m.
At 8:50, Mr. Allen was walking, mimicking Officer Early's movements, and asking random questions. "Can I confess to the warden and Dr. Walla?"
And those entries that you've testified to, did you make those in real time?
Yes.
Meaning you made those state, or you made those entries when Mr. Allen?
Yes.
I don't have any other questions, Judge.
Mr. Rossi.
Were you aware that he had already written a letter to the warden back in early April, April 3rd, 2023, confessing to these crimes?
No.
But he told you he wanted to confess to the warden and Dr. Walla on May 1st, 2023, right?
Yes.
You've been at the prison since. You said you started 2016?
November 2016.
First time you ever remember having a safekeeper in that unit, isn't it?
Yes.
And you said you interacted with Rick shortly after he arrived?
Yes.
He was a quiet guy?
Yes.
Docile?
Yes.
Non-confrontational?
Yes.
You said he looked like he was a deer in headlights when you first saw him.
Yes.
And at some point, you said his behavior just changed, right?
Yes.
He flipped the switch, I think were the words you used.
Yes.
Almost like he lost his mind. That's what you said, didn't you?
Your words.
What's that?
I've never used those words. He just changed.
You listened to your recording, right?
Yes.
You said he was eating the Bible?
Somebody told me that he was eating a Bible.
And that disturbed you because you were a Christian, right?
They told me that saying, you might not want to go down there early. He's eating a Bible.
They knew you were a Christian's what you were saying?
Yes.
But he never said anything of any detail about how he killed these girls, did he?
Just that he did it.
All right. All of the confessions were generic, weren't they?
To the point.
And you said at one point his behavior started getting more bizarre?
Yes.
He was dipping a cup in the toilet and drinking out of it?
Yeah. He was standing in front of the toilet and he was just sitting there, sort of thinking about it. Again, I was looked at his back or at his backside, and then he finally took a dunk, took a drink, thought about it, spit it out, and sat down and ate the tray that he had been provided earlier.
He was sticking a fork in his genitals?
A spork.
A spork?
A spoon/fork combination.
And was sticking his fingers in his rear end?
Yes.
And he started collecting his feces, and you said rolling it into balls, right?
And lining it up.
And he covered himself with feces, spit, and vomit, you said.
Yes.
But then, after a few months, he calmed down, right?
Yes.
And I think you said he was fairly docile in August when you saw him, just before your interview with the police.
Yes. I started working in another section of the prison but I worked one shift back there.
Directing your attention to 296. You have that in front of you, sir?
Yes.
There's an entry there on April 8th, 2023, at 4:29 p.m. Do you see that?
At the top, yes.
And could you tell the jury what words Rick Allen spoke to you on that day that time?
I noted he was yelling, "Foxtrot, fuck, foxy lady, fuck me running."
Did any of that mean anything to you?
No, he just, from time to time, would mumble things.
Say things that made no sense at all, right?
Sometimes.
Let me direct your attention to April 8th, 2023, at 5:46 p.m. Did you make an entry there?
April 8th at 5:23?
5:46, sir.
Geez, I'm sorry. Yes.
Is that the reference to him drinking toilet water?
It's one of them.
Or is that some other diff? Is that something different than what you said earlier?
That would be a different one. This was at a different time.
Tell the jury what you observed at that time, April 8th, 5:46 p.m.
He was attempting to drink toilet water again, and bottles of hot sauce were available off commissary, and he had a bottle of hot sauce, and he was drinking that as well, mixed with the two.
What's that last line say, the second line there?
It appeared that he was urinating on his mat.
Directing your attention to the second page of this exhibit, you made it.
Yes.
Tell the jury what your observations were.
3:39, he was laying on the floor mumbling and raising his arms.
And again at 3:55, same thing basically, mumbling?
Yes.
Laying on the floor, right?
Yes.
Directing your attention to April 9th, 2023, at 3:38 p.m. to 4:08 p.m. Do you see that entry?
Yes.
Was he sitting on the floor mumbling again?
Yes.
He do a lot of mumbling when you were watching him?
Yes.
That was kind of common for him.
Yes.
Directing your attention to page 3 of this exhibit, May 1st, 2023, at 9:15 a.m. Do you see that entry?
Yes.
Did he tell you he was already dead?
Yes.
And then the next entry, May 1st, 2023, at 9:30 a.m. Was he then pacing and mumbling again?
Yes.
Let me direct your attention to May 1st, 2023, at 10:15 a.m. You see that entry near the bottom?
Yes.
Did you make observations of Mr. Allen at that time?
I did.
And what were those observations?
He was awake and saluting staff, asking for World War III.
Okay, and 15 minutes later, he was asleep, right?
Yes.
And that was at 10:30 in the morning?
Yes.
You're sometimes warned about offenders who have mental health on that unit. Is that right?
There are security management plans that are put in place for offenders that have had histories like that, yes.
And you said you're kind of used to seeing crazy people back there on that pod, right?
Comes with it, yes.
You were not warned about any mental health issues with Rick, were you?
No.
So as far as you knew, you thought he was perfectly normal in terms of his mental health?
Yes.
I don't have anything further.
Mr. McClelland.
Officer Early, what did you think about the behavior that Richard Allen was displaying? Talking about this bizarre behavior, what did you think about that?
It just seemed orchestrated. He had a normal look to where his eyes were big, and he was just sort of there, taking it all in, but he was always, it was, "Yes, sir," and "Would you like wreck and shower today?" "Yes, sir," and would also say thank you. And then I escorted him multiple times, and all of a sudden, he just would become dead weight, or he'd decide to drool that day. But he would come out of it if he had a question, if there was something that he wanted. If he wanted to use the phone, he would come out of the drooling session to ask for the phone.
Specifically with the toilet incident, when he was drinking toilet out of the water, you spoke about he kind of took a breath before he did it. Do you remember that testimony?
I do.
What is your thoughts on that?
It's like you're about to jump in cold water. You're just thinking about it like, I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to do it. And he did.
I don't have any other questions, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Rossi.
That cell door is a solid steel door, isn't it?
Correct.
And it's got a small window, doesn't it?
Correct.
And you'd have to kind of make an effort to look in there through the window, wouldn't you?
I can see in there pretty good.
And so what you're observing is what's going on the other side of that door, right?
Correct.
And the toilet's in the back of the cell, right?
Correct.
Pretty close to where he puts his head when he sleeps at night, right?
Toilet on this side.
About 3 feet?
Bed on this side. Yeah, about 3-4 feet in between.
And you question the authenticity or the genuineness of his actions, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Are you aware that he was banging his head on the wall in his cell time and time again until he was physically injured by that? Did you know that?
Never that he did in front of me on my shift or I would have noted it. But he made a lot of different movements.
Okay. Are you aware that he was defecating in his hands and smearing that all over his body at one point?
I watched him do it, yes.
Okay. And do you question the genuineness of those activities, too?
That's not the first time I've seen that, and so it wasn't new to me, but I've never had anybody just do that because there's a reason behind doing it, and it was just after watching him go through the spork incident and the toilet water drinking incident, it seemed to come off as somebody that was just doing the next thing that he could do. Like when I seen him with the spork and going into his genitals, it was like he knew that hurt and that wasn't for him, that the other end was easier, so he went that way, and the logical progression was to feces comes, so.
That's what's next?
That's what's next.
And you've seen that a number of times in there?
Yes.
People in there, convicted felons, right?
Yes.
Some of the worst people in society?
They're pretty bad sometimes.
Some of the most heinous people you could possibly come into contact with?
Sometimes.
And for those kind of people, rubbing feces around their cell or on their body is kind of normal behavior, right? You see that from time to time?
Normal for where we're at, not necessarily normal behavior.
Yeah, normal for the WCU?
It happens back there, but you only have so many tools at your disposal to try to get what you want, and that sometimes grabs attention.
There's something about that place that makes people do things like that, isn't there?
Well, there's something about that action.
Judge, I'm sorry. I didn't hear the question to be able to object, or I couldn't hear what Mr. Roszi's saying. I'm sorry.
There's something about that place that makes people do things like that was.
I'm gonna object to that. It calls for speculation.
He works there.
Well.
I don't think it calls for speculation.
Sustained. You can narrow it down.
Thank you.
I would say that not that it drives you to do that. If you're back there for more than a day or two being housed back there, you realize that that's something that people do and it's a tool that you can use to get what you would like.
And then, if that doesn't get the attention that's warranted, then you start eating it, right?
I've seen that.
That's normal behavior at the WCU?
If you are attempting to do something, there are people back there that.
Is there some other act that you've seen in the WCU from an offender that you're like, hey, you know what? Now that guy's serious.
No, it's not even, I wouldn't even put it that way. I would just, that it really isn't a case-by-case basis of what you're doing, but it's most of the time it's to get something.
You weren't aware of any mental health issues that Mr. Allen may have suffered from when he came into that unit, are you?
None at all.
You think there are people in there that are really sick, that do have mental health issues?
I do.
Do you think that can be one of the reasons why they act this way?
I think anybody under that type of environment could, for long enough, could have some issues, but some people are put back there because they act that way. Some people are put back there and then start acting that way.
Did you know Rick Allen was put back there because he was awaiting trial in this case?
Well, we were told we had a safekeeping coming in, and I had not had that happen in my time there.
Yeah.
So?
If you found out that Rick Allen did have a serious mental illness, might you feel differently about his actions?
Only if it affected my day-to-day operation of how I was doing something. Then I would be aware of it, but it wouldn't change what I do other than taking precautions.
My question is this. If you found out that he had a serious mental illness, would you feel differently about the genuineness or the authenticity of his actions?
Mental health, that wouldn't come into I do the same operation no matter who I'm dealing with, so I just take different precautions. So I wouldn't have any thought whether or not why he's in there has nothing to do with my day-to-day. It's just how he acts is how I interact with him, so if there were, I have no feeling what any of them are in there for. It's not why I'm there, so.
Are you done?
Yes.
Earlier, Mr. McClelland asked you what your opinion was about whether or not he was acting genuinely. Do you recall that?
I do.
And what I gleaned was that you weren't convinced that this was genuine, that he might have been faking it.
That would be fair to say.
So my question is, if you found out that he had serious mental illness, might you feel differently about that opinion?
Judge, that's been asked and answered.
Overruled.
No, I'm sorry.
No, I have, a lot of people back there have security management plans and there's severe mental illness, and other than taking precautions, I have for my personal safety and the safety of the officer with me and the offender safety is all that comes into play. Doesn't matter whether they're, it doesn't matter, I do the job the same way. So it does, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it wouldn't matter if I knew that he was, it wouldn't matter to the way I'm doing my job, so.
Appreciate that. You're treating everybody back there the same?
Yes.
Rick Allen wasn't quite like every other offender in this facility, was he?
No. He was what we call safekeeping, and he just had access to things and a lot more visitors than most.
Based on your experiences as somebody who's worked there for several years, if somebody had a serious mental illness and they were locked up in solitary confinement for weeks and months on end, do you agree that probably would be detrimental to their mental health?
Yes.
I have nothing further.
All right. Does anybody on the jury have any questions for Mr. Early? Would counsel approach?
Sidebar conference conducted.
Do you know how long Mr. Allen was on suicide watch?
That's okay.
Was Mr. Allen in the same cell for 13 months?
Okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
If someone's on suicide watch, what is allowed to be in the cell with them?
I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Is there anyone in the courtroom that was a fellow employee of yours?
I don't have any clue what that means.
Yours being the witness or?
Yeah, I would assume.
I don't have a problem with it. It's an appropriate question. I don't know what he's gonna say, but.
It's appropriate if he knows. Inaudible, there's DOC in the back that are lawyers.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. They're sitting in our seats.
And they're allowed to be.
I don't think it's relevant to anything that we've talked about. That's my opinion, and I'm not trying to be a jerk about it.
I don't disagree.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Mr. Early, do you know how long Mr. Allen was on suicide watch?
Well, when he came in, I don't know exactly when he got to Westville, but when he came into Westville, he was taken directly back to the same cell that he was in other than a receiving cell when he got there, and then taken to his permanent cell, was in a suicide watch cell from when he first got there, and that was just where he was placed because it was the safest place for him. The way it is at Westville is it's open dorms in general population, and back there are the only individual cells we have. So it's not like a traditional prison, it's open dorms, so that's the only place he was at.
Mr. McClelland, any follow-up?
No, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Rossi,
No, ma'am.
was Mr. Allen in the same cell for 13 months?
To my knowledge, yes.
Mr. McClelland,
No, Judge.
Mr. Rossi,
No, ma'am.
when someone is on suicide watch, what is allowed to be in the cell with them?
Can vary, but as far as he didn't have any restrictions. And he was allowed to have you can sign up for a tablet, anybody can, and get it. He was given a tablet that had Wi-Fi and he could have a portable, or it was a just handheld phone that we would give him, the same phone that other offenders used. He'd ask for a phone, we could give it to him. If he wanted to go the rec yard, he could have a phone there. He would get reading material. He asked for a Bible, got a Bible. There's other just literature that was around that he could read. Any material that was provided to him by his counsel. Other than that, food items, 3 meals a day are passed through the door to him.
Mr. McClelland, any follow-up?
Was he also allowed to have commissary?
Yes.
Did that allow him to have food in addition to the 3 meals a day?
Yes.
Did that also allow him to have extra clothing?
Yes.
And he was allowed to have that in the cell with him?
Correct.
Did he have access to a TV at some point?
I do not believe he had a TV.
All right.
They are available back there, but I don't believe he had one.
Okay. I don't have anything else, Judge. Thank.
Mr. Rossi,
You said he could get a phone like other offenders is what you said?
Yeah. There's phone privileges.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
He's not an offender though, is it?
It's an offender felon is what it's called, so get the phone like the offenders back there do.
Like all the other people that have been convicted of crimes. You were grouping him in that category, weren't you?
Well, he was part of my rounds.
I understand that. It's easy to do because...
Yeah.
He just falls in with all the rest of them, right?
Except that we recorded everything we did with him and he was in a cell with a camera, where the others were not. He was...
You talked about what he had in. The question was generally what he had in his cell. It's actually true that when he was on suicide watch, they wouldn't give him blankets, right?
I would not be the one that made that decision, so I'm not sure if he had a restriction on blankets or not.
There's a suicide blanket that actually is administered to these people. See there?
It's a smock.
Yeah.
It's not really a blanket. It's like a Fred Flintstone type garment.
Yeah, I referred to it as a caveman.
There you go.
Gown one time. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And do you agree that it's not very concealing, that you have to be kind of careful when you wear those things, because there's places?
It's down past that. It's past that. It's...
Okay, let me finish.
Down past anything you can be modest about.
Can I finish, please?
Affirmative response.
That there are areas on your body that you have, like your private parts, you gotta be a little careful about when you've got those smocks on, right?
Sure.
There's an adjustment period of learning how to wear one of those, right?
I would think so.
It kind of looks like a flak jacket that you just flip over you, doesn't it?
Yes.
And there are times when they actually take away things when you're on suicide watch. They give them to you in the evening, like your blanket, then they take them in the morning, right?
I don't work nights, so not something I would do.
Okay.
Or that I'm familiar with.
You mentioned commissary, right?
Commissary is done, but it's done on night shift.
Offenders can get commissary, right?
They can.
And sometimes there's a lot of rules about how to get commissary, isn't there?
There's restricted items and there's certain things you can't order, and so...
Judge, I'm gonna object at this point. It's outside the scope of the question from the jury. The state doesn't have an opportunity to redirect, and so I'm gonna object.
Sustained.
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. You may step down, but may I have the exhibit, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You're fine. All right. You may call your next witness.